Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful day here in the Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day that the Lord has made. We're rejoicing. We're glad in it. Welcome to the Ramonepreston. Hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know your boy, Ramonepreston, my squad. We're live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta, and I truly appreciate all of you for joining the Ramonepreston show today. Please, if you're watching me live, hit the like button, hit the share button, and tag Lolly Dolly everybody. What up, Nathan? What up, my man? Blessings to you as well. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramonepreston show. If you don't know, now you know. I am your host, Ramonepreston. I want to know what city you're watching me from, who you representing. Put in the comments what city you're representing, because today we're going to have an amazing discussion on my 5 steps to a successful start in business. For all of you that are entrepreneurs, all of you that are go-getters, grinders, hustlers, business owners, and you might either be resetting yourself in this new economy, or maybe you're just a first-time entrepreneur and you're looking for the most creative and successful and effective way to take your idea and your business as an entrepreneur to the next level. I'm going to be showing you the 5 steps that I use as a business consultant and coach to work with my students and clients, and I'm sure it's going to bring value to you. So if you would be so kind, put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. I love to know where you're watching the Ramonepreston show from. This has been an amazing week. I certainly appreciate all of you for supporting us, for watching the show, for participating, for engaging, for sharing, for liking, for commenting, and for all of you that have reached out to us and have joined either our online community through our courses, or maybe you've joined our coaching program. I want to say thank you for trusting us. I'm certainly appreciative that you have seen the value in what we offer and what we provide on a day-to-day basis, and the fact that you trust that my team and I can deliver what you need to take your business and your finances to the next level. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to my team. So again, I want to say thank you. Congratulations to all of you. And welcome to the Ramonepreston show. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ramonepreston. I'm the host of the Ramonepreston show, obviously, every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. I show up here in the middle of my workday here at our headquarters in our studio, and I show up to give you information, to share with you things that I know you can use to start, to structure, so that at some point you can scale your business, your ministry, your income streams, and your wealth building dreams. And just in case you don't know me personally, please understand, I've been a full-time entrepreneur and preacher for the past 2 decades. And everything that I share with you on this show, whether it's about holding companies, creative tax strategies, financial literacy, investing, family, legacy, wealth building, these are all the things that I've implemented in my own life, number one, and what has helped me to become who I am today and to get to where I am today. All right, my wife and I, for the past 20 years, we have been committed to entrepreneurship, to leadership, to ministry, and we have built a successful organizational enterprise. At least to me, it's successful. And we are financially free. We are debt free. And I say that, proudly, because it takes a lot to be a full-time entrepreneur for 2 decades without having to revert back to maybe going back to the workforce. We've been consistent. Has it been easy? Absolutely not. It's been like the hardest thing ever to do. But guess what? It's worth it, because once you dial in on things that actually work and you start perfecting those things that work, you find your rhythm, you find a flow, And if you're willing to be committed to that thing and be consistent over long periods of time, you will see progress and you will see success. And so as a result of what I've been able to accomplish over the last 20 years, we provide curriculum, we provide courses, we provide coaching and consulting programs that have been designed in a very simple way to give you the blueprint that you need so that you can properly start your business or ministry, properly structure your business or ministry and scale that operation to at least $1 million. So I don't know, you might be a person that you feel like, you know what, I want to at least get to $1 million. I want to at least put myself in a position that my business can pay me a salary. I can hire employees. I can start investing in marketing and in expansion, and so that I can see some level of success. Well, if that's you, at some point you're going to have to learn the principles and the practices and the concepts that make a business successful. You're going to have to learn all the fundamentals, at least the basic fundamentals for running a successful business operation. And so today, I'm going to share with you my personal 5 steps to a successful start in business. Now, here's what I want you to understand. These 5 steps that I'm about to share with you are essentially the 5 steps that I use to consult and coach my clients. So if you were a coaching client of mine, or if you were a consulting client of mine, and you paid me to have a one-on-one sit-down session with you, I would walk you through each of these 5 steps. No matter where you are, personally, professionally, or financially, it would be my way as a business consultant and coach to assess your situation personally, professionally, and financially, and to help determine what is the best game plan for what you want to accomplish moving forward, okay? And so these are the 5 steps that I use as a consultant and coach. But again, these are 5 steps that you can use to have a successful start in business. So whether you've been in business for a long time or whether you're just getting started in business, these 5 steps can be valuable to you, whether it's for you doing it the first time or whether it's for you using these steps to just hit the reset button. I always encourage my clients and even my students that are in our programs to take some time every few months to hit the reset button. But when you hit the reset button, you need some step-by-step process. You need some strategic flow on what needs to be done so that you can reset or reassess where you are in light of where you've been and in light of where you're going. So here are the 5 steps to a successful start in business. And again, these are the 5 steps that I use to consult and coach my clients. So for those of you that are like avid learners and you just want all the information up front, the process that I use as a consultant and coach, it's called the AIDE process. AIDIE. Okay, so that's like an acronym that we use, and we refer to it as the AIDE process. This is a 5-step process that I use. And again, if you hired me to be your coach, or if you hired me for your company to consult you and to help put a successful business or financial game plan together, more than likely, I'm going to walk you through these 5 steps so that we can either start a successful business for you or restart a successful business for you. And when I say business, I'm referring to everything that encompasses your personal, your professional, and even your financial life. Because even if you don't own a legitimate LLC or corporation, you are a business. And so whether it's the business of your life, whether it's the business of your household, whether it's the business of your career, whether it's the business of your financial situation, or the business of your church ministry, or just the business of your business, you still need some step-by-step process that you can use to help set the trajectory for where you want to go. And so I use this 5-step process, okay? It's called the 80 process. Step 1 is A, step 2 is I, step 3 is D, step 4 is I, and step 5 is E, okay? Now here's the good thing about what I'm sharing with you today on these 5 steps. If for some reason what I give to you on this show in just less than an hour is not enough, no worries. All of this information I provide in my coaching program. All of this information I provide on my online educational program called the Millionaire Blueprint. So whether you are being coached by me in my Millionaire Mentorship program, or whether you're just getting educated in my Millionaire Blueprint, which is my online educational program, we have self-assessment modules to literally walk you through each of these 5 steps. So whether you're able to sit down with me in a one-on-one session, or whether you're chiming in every week in our coaching calls, or you're just, browsing my courses online as a student, you can walk yourself through this 80 process, because we have a self-assessment module to show you what you need to do. As I said, I tell my students and mentees all the time, at least once a quarter, you should visit this course that I have set up as a self-assessment for your personal, professional, and financial life, to at least gauge where you are in light of where you've been and in light of where you're going. So the A is for assess. Okay, the I is for identify. The D is for develop. The I is for integrate. And the E is for execute. Now this may sound simple or complicated to you, depending on where you are, right? But here's what I'm explaining to you. These 5 steps can help you in a successful start in your business or a restart in your business. So again, if you have an EIN number and you have a LLC or some type of entity set up, I want you to understand something. There are 31 million registered businesses in the United States of America. I was talking about this a little bit yesterday on my show, okay? 31 million registered businesses in the United States of America. 25 million of those 31 million businesses, 80% of all businesses in the United States of America, I want you to understand that. 80% of all businesses in the United States of America have no employees. 60% of these businesses, they don't make a profit. So if you're one of those 80% or 60%, at some point, you're going to have to figure out what is the step-by-step process that I need to at least assess where I am in light of where I've been and in light of where I want to go. So you can use this 5-step process to really help qualify where you are and quantify what it's going to take to get to where you need to be. And so the first thing I like to do is I like to assess your personal and your financial situation. So for example, if you just looked out 1 year from now, how much money do you want to make? You should quantify that. And how much money do you need to make? You should quantify that. So don't just look at, okay, it's May, I'm gonna just look at what I need to do between now and December. It's real easy for you to just look at the next 12 months, no matter what time of the year it is. Because if you're in November, you thinking, oh, well, let me just see what I want to do for the next 30 days. You ain't giving yourself enough time. You ain't got a long enough runway. Just always give yourself an assessment for at least a year, all right? Because most people that you sit down with, especially if they're like professional coaches or consultants, most likely they're going to tell you that you need to give yourself at least a year runway. Because if you're just learning about principles and concepts for business and finances, you ain't going to learn this stuff in 30 days or 90 days. You might familiarize yourself with some of these principles and concepts, but I've done enough studies on students and clients that I've worked with. Shoot, I've done enough studies on my own life as a 20-year entrepreneur to know that most of the stuff you want to get done in a year ain't going to get done in a year. It's going to take you probably 3 to 6 months just to start dialing in on how the concept actually applies to you, because there's an educational component, right? Then there's a training component, and then there's an execution component. You got to give yourself a year. So for the assessment, you want to look at your personal and your financial situation. You want to be able to look at, okay, where am I in my personal life, and where do I want to be at least within the next year? Maybe you're working a job and you have a business on the side, right? And you might want to be full-time in your business. Well, you need to quantify. If 1 year from today you were full-time in your business, what is the dollar amount that you need to associate with being full-time in your business? So for example, if you make $5,000 a month, right? If you bring home $5,000 a month and that takes care of your personal responsibilities, does that mean your business would need to pay you at minimum $5,000 a month 1 year from now if you're working in your business full time? So you need to quantify that, because remember, when you start going into the marketplace, introducing your products and your services and trying to make money and build a book of business, you need to have in mind what that dollar amount is. I need to know what is my worst case scenario. That's why I said you need to do the math on how much I want to make in my business within the next year, but how much I need to make. Like, I want to make $10 million this year in my business. Everybody in my company and who works for me, they know my goal is to get to $10 million, right? As a company. But just because I want 10 million don't necessarily mean I'm going to get the 10 million. But I tell you what, there's just some dollars I need in order for me to even exist as a business. So the assessment that you need to make and take even on yourself is, how much money do I want within the next year, and how much money do I need? So remember, I'm giving you 5 steps to a successful start in business. Now you might be thinking, shouldn't we be talking about the business structure? Shouldn't we be talking about products and services? Shouldn't we be talking about sales and marketing and hiring virtual assistants and bringing people on? We're going to talk about that. The first thing you need to get clear is, what is the dollar amount that I want to make, let's say within the next 12 months, or the dollar amount that I need to make? Why is that important above everything else when it comes to starting in business or restarting yourself in business? Why is that important? Because if you ain't got a dollar amount that you need to make and or want to make, you ain't going to have no motivation. You ain't going to have the incentive to deal with all the other stuff you got to deal with when we start fleshing through these other 4 steps. When it comes to structuring your business, when it comes to getting your products and services packaged and priced right, and going into the marketplace and introducing those products and services, and dealing with rejection and objections and drama and issues and everything that you deal with once you start banging it out every day in business, if you ain't got some type of monetary motivation, I'm not saying you don't need other sources of motivation, but you got to have a dollar amount in your mind. Remember, I told you, okay, I came into this year with a goal to become a $10 million company. So what did I have to do? I had to assess my personal and my financial situation. How much money do I want to make this year as a company? I want to make 10 million. How much money do I need to make this year so that I can pay myself, pay my wife, pay my son, pay my staff, pay my operational expenses, pay for my overhead, and have some wiggle room to market and to do all the other things I want to do to expand. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whether you are a business that's already growing and expanding, or whether you are a solopreneur working on a job, trying to figure out how you can make some money and get some momentum with your business, start with the assessment. Start with the assessment. Because again, if you paid me to coach you, if you paid me to be your consultant, and we sat down for a one-on-one, the first thing I'm going to do is assess your financial situation. How much do you want to make in a year? Where do you see yourself in a year? Do you see yourself working full time? Do you see yourself in ministry full time? If you see yourself in business or wherever full time, how much money is it going to take for you to be able to wake up every day and do that? You got to get that dollar amount. You got to get how much you want, and then you got to get how much you need. You may want to make 100 grand within a year, right? Okay, but you might need 42,000 just to make sure you don't lose your car and your house, right? And take care of your other responsibilities. So you need to get the number on what you want and what you need, because once you start building your business infrastructure, once you start fleshing through these other steps, the dollar amount is going to determine how all this plays out. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of entrepreneurs, they start out trying to get an LLC, get an EIN, Duns and Bradstreet, but they hadn't even done the math. And so you get caught up in all the mechanical, technical, legal aspects of a business, and you've never really gotten clear on, what do I need to even have a business? What do I want financially to even have a business? Am I making sense? So the first step to a successful start in business is your assessment. I have to assess how much moolah, baby, that I need within the next year. How much moolah, baby, do I want within the next year? You have to quantify, all right? That's the bougie word, quantify. You got to quantify, have a clear dollar amount of how much you want and how much you need, okay? The next step is identify. So once you have quantified in your assessment how much money you want, how much money you need for the next year, personally or maybe in your business, right? Now identify. This is the second step, and this is what I would be doing if I was coaching you. I would say, okay, let's identify with what I like to call the 3 B's. Okay, we got the 3 B's. So I would want to know, what is the best business structure? What is the best business structure for what you want to do? So because I teach different principles and concepts for business. I teach about your holding company. I teach about operating companies or subsidiaries, because I want to make sure, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you got like 500 different things you want to do, we got to make sure we have a business structure that's set up in a way that it removes the clutter, it eliminates the complication, and it makes it clear for you to know how to go into the market. So for example, if you want to do real estate, you want to be a coach, you want to sell hoodies and t-shirts, you want to do some digital marketing, you want to cut grass on the side, you want to paint pictures, you might have 7 or 8 things that you want to do. Well, you got to be clear on identifying the business structure, because you're going to have to know, okay, do I need 6 or 7 different business entities, or do I need one business entity that I can focus my business structure around? Because my first B is business structure. My second B is brand identity. Most entrepreneurs, especially solopreneurs, they never get business structure right, meaning that if you have an idea to provide a service in the market or an idea to sell a product in the market, most solopreneurs, they build their business solely around that product or that service that they want to sell and provide. They don't necessarily create a business structure that gives them the capacity for expansion. You understand what I'm saying? So when they don't do that, what happens is when that business operation doesn't work, or when they get bored, they don't know how to pivot out of that because they have not created some type of parent company or umbrella company that gives them the capacity and the wiggle room to expand. That's one of the reasons why I teach like I do on the holding company concept, because you need to have a concept in your business structure that gives you the capacity, the flexibility to wiggle and to grow, so that you don't get stuck in a specific vein that you're either not making money in or that you're tied to and you can't pivot out. Do you understand what I'm saying? And how your business is structured, if it's structured correctly, it makes your brand identity better. Because if your brand identity is not clear, your marketing is not going to be clear. Because again, if you got 5 business ideas and you create 5 separate LLCs, okay, my question to you is, what is the central brand that you're promoting? I don't know. Should it be my real estate company? Should it be my landscape company? Should it be my trucking company? Should it be my digital marketing? What should it be? Because you haven't created a business structure to make your brand identity clear. And if your brand identity ain't clear, guess what ain't clear? Your marketing ain't clear. And your messaging ain't clear. That's why if you walked in the room and somebody asked you what you do, you like, I do this, I do that, I babysit, I wash cars, I clean houses. It's like you do 100 things and you're confused and we're confused. Nobody's gonna do business with a confused business owner. Point blank, period. So when you walk in a room and somebody starts asking you questions about your business and you telling them about 20 different businesses that you got or ideas that you got, people like, yeah, you don't know what you're doing. And you wonder why you don't market. You don't market because you don't have clarity on business structure. The second B is identifying your brand identity. What type of brand do you want to build? What type of brand do you want your company to be? You have to think branding when you're doing business in today's world. You have to think branding. If you ain't starting a business and structuring it in a way that you can build a brand around, oh my God, when I tell you that things are going to be so hard for you, I'm telling you it's going to be really, really, really hard for you. I hope I'm making sense to y'all. If I'm making sense to you, I want you to give me some, come on, show me some love in the comments. Now, don't leave me out here by myself, because I know what I'm saying is true. Remember, if I'm sitting down with you in a one-on-one coaching session and you hire me to coach you one-on-one, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to assess your finances for yourself and your business. We're going to get dollars, what you want to make, what you need to make. And the next thing I'm going to do is help you identify with business structure. Because you might have 1 or 2 LLCs that are currently existing, but maybe those LLCs are not really the LLCs or the business operations that are going to be the main brand. So that would mean those LLCs would have to come under the umbrella of a parent company that you're going to use as a main brand. This stuff you got to figure out, especially in today's world. The better you are with what I'm talking about when you get started, the better it's going to be. That's why I always tell my clients and students, listen, do it right the first time. Stop trying to shortcut and finesse and discount your way to what's right, because all you end up doing, and I see this all the time, like I see this with client after client after client. I see this on a regular basis. I know it might not look like I have a real business because I'm like most people on the internet all the time, but trust me, I got a real business. I got real clients. I got a real consulting division, a real coaching division, a real educational division, a real estate division. My wife and I, we've been doing this for 20 years, so I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. I said all that to say I talk to so many clients that by the time I sit down with them, they got 18 different LLCs. They confused about how to run it. They don't know what their brand is. They don't have no personal or business identity. And they wonder why none of their businesses are making money. It's because you didn't do it right the first time, okay? So back to my second step, identify business structure. So it may be a holding company that becomes the brand. It may be divisions under that holding company. Maybe it's subsidiaries. Because as I said, if you got LLCs that are already existing and they're not going to be the main brand of the empire or the enterprise, they may have to come under the umbrella of another new holding company that you position as the brand. Am I making sense? And then you have what we call brand ambassador. So that means if you have a business structure that you have built a brand identity around, you still need a brand ambassador. You have to identify with who or what will be the main representative of this organization. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like every business needs a Geico. Like Geico Insurance has Geico, right? Fruit Loops has Toucan Sam. So either it's going to be a character, something, or it's going to be someone. So when you think of a lot of the major holding companies and the major conglomerates and enterprises like JP Morgan, well, that's actually a person, right? These are people. Johnson and Johnson. Even though there are some businesses that are not necessarily people, like Amazon is not a person, Berkshire Hathaway is not a person, but at least you know who the actual ambassador is because they position themselves as such. Am I making sense? So we have to identify with this to make it make sense for you. The next step, number 3, is, okay, we're going to have to develop. So once you figure out what your business structure is, what the brand identity is, who the brand ambassador or what the brand ambassador is, now we can start looking at, okay, how do we develop? We need to develop a few things. We need to develop the right position for you. So there's a certain position you need to assume in this type of business structure. Perhaps if you are looking at becoming a coach or influencer, or if you want to move into that space, you may have to position yourself as a consultant or some type of expert to give you the most value. So when I'm assessing a client and I'm walking them through this process and we get to this third step of develop, I'm looking at trying to figure out, okay, what is the best, most valuable position you can assume in this company? So there may be a corporate role or a corporate position like CEO, but is there any type of executive position that you can assume? And again, if you're going to be an influencer or some type of coach in a certain space and you want to gain that type of attention, well, you have to gain and garner that by being positioned correctly within your business so that when you do go into the marketplace, you can position yourself as such. Like, let me give you an example. If you are Joe the plumber, I always give this example. If you're Joe the plumber, right? Okay, you want a plumbing company, but you build an infrastructure like this because you want to build a brand. You don't want to just be Joe the plumber. Well, what that may mean is Joe the plumber may have a plumbing division, but Joe the plumber may have to position himself not as Joe the plumber in the marketplace. Joe may have to position himself as Joe the plumbing consultant. So you see how that repositioning of Joe makes Joe more valuable, and it makes his plumbing service more valuable just because he was properly positioned. So we have to help develop your position. We also have to develop your products and your services. So we've got to make sure that you have what experts call a MVP. You need a minimum viable product. You got to have something that you can put together in the form of a product and service, price it correctly, package it correctly, so that when you move into the marketplace and start marketing, you're confident in what you are offering and what you're giving people information and value on, because you've properly priced it and packaged it and you thought it through. I know people right now today who are out there trying to market, which they're not doing a good job. And one reason why is because they ain't got no brand identity. They ain't got no doggone products and services. And they just think somebody gonna do business with them because they look good, or they driving a nice car, or they showing on social media, little reels like they at a building where it's a Rolls Royce in the front, as if we believe that's yours. But even if it is yours, ain't nobody doing business with you because you got a Rolls Royce. Ain't nobody doing business with you because you wearing a Rolex or got Gucci shoes on. Ain't nobody doing business with you because of that. Broke people wear Gucci. Broke people wear designer clothes. People gonna do business with you because they at least trust, to some extent, they trust that what you offer is what they need and that it's going to work. There has to be some glue there that sticks. You get what I'm saying? So we want to develop your position, your products and services. We want to make sure that you have them priced right, packaged right, so you can present them right. So that's the development phase. Now, inside of this development phase, there are other things that you're going to consider. Like, you're going to have to consider who is your PCP? Who is your perfect client profile? So that when you're speaking, like I'm speaking on this show, a lot of people watch my videos every day, whether it's live or a replay. A lot of people go to my social media platforms and watch my videos, but I already know I'm speaking to a perfect client profile. I'm speaking to a specific person who fits a certain profile and criteria that needs what I have to offer in my programs and my products and my services. Does that make sense? So you have to have a perfect client profile. You got to flesh that out. Okay. The fourth step is integrate. This is critical. And I think this is like one of the sweet spots of my business outside of business structure, because we do a great job teaching people and working with people on how to properly start and structure their entities, whether it's holding companies, operating companies, or both. We do a great job. We do a great job helping people flesh out their products and services and price them correctly. Because again, this five-step process that I'm giving you is what I use to consult and coach clients. If I sat down with you in a one-on-one, I'm gonna walk you through the same process, and we're gonna dig deep to make sure that when you leave this session, you leave in with a real game plan. So integrate, what does that mean? Well, now once we assess how much money you want to make, how much money you need to make, once we identify with the business structure, brand identity, brand ambassador, we check those boxes. We develop your proper position. We look at your products and services. We price and package them correctly so that you can be confident to go into the market and offer them. Now we want to look at, okay, what systems and processes, that's what integration is about. What systems and processes do you need to integrate into this business? So when you have a business structure, you have to integrate the right systems and processes. You have to think about your sales systems and processes, your marketing systems and processes, your financial systems and processes, and your operational systems and processes. Those are like the main four systems and processes you got to think about. Why? Well, for let's start with marketing. Well, because you got to be able to go into the marketplace, get attention, get names and numbers and emails, and have a process to bring people back into your ecosystem, right? You have to have a pipeline of people coming in because of what you put out. And when people come in through your marketing, now you need a sales system and process to professionally walk people through whatever your steps are for them to become paid customers and clients. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're marketing correctly and you getting attention from people in the marketplace correctly, it is your professional responsibility to have some type of sales process so that you make the buying experience easy. So when I go shopping, whether it's online or whether it's a physical building that I go to, or whether it's some type of coach or mentorship or whatever it is that I look to buy and purchase, if people have marketed correctly, and I already have some level of trust and confidence that this is what I want, and then I get to have some professional sales experience of somebody asking me the right questions, making sure that I'm on the right product or purchasing the right service, it makes me feel good as a buyer. So you as an entrepreneur, you have to have an integrated system and process for your marketing, for your sales. But then when you market and when you sell and you start making money, you still need a system and process for your finances. You got to be able to track your income and expenses. You got to be able to implement creative tax strategies if you want to minimize your taxes and maximize your profits. This is all a part of your financial system. You got to get good enough at that to at least give you the ability to manage it while you're working with professionals like CPAs and tax experts. But then you want to integrate an operational system and process because you want to be able to track your metrics, your KPIs. You want to be able to look at your data, your statistics. It requires systems and processes. So I like to work with my clients to make sure we see what type of systems and processes do you need integrated into this business structure. And it varies by the entrepreneur and business owner because it depends on how many businesses you got, how many operations you have, how many entities do you need. That's going to determine the types of systems and processes that you need. And then once we get through all of these 4 steps, the 5th step is execution. The 5th step is execution. Execution is just that. It's you taking what you have assessed, what you have identified, what you have developed and integrated, and now putting it to actual work. Putting it to actual work. And even though it sounds complicated and complex, it ain't that complicated and complex, not if you commit it. If you commit it and you've done the math on what you want to accomplish and you know in order for you to accomplish it, you're going to have to put in work, it ain't going to be that complicated. So here's the good thing. Here's the good thing. This 5 steps that I'm giving you to a successful start in business is the same 5-step process that I use to coach and consult clients. If me and you sat down in a one-on-one session, I'm going to walk you through these 5 steps. And the execution is going to be the game plan. I got to put a game plan together for you. And most likely, if you have a game plan, you're going to need education. Am I correct? Because if me and you went through this in a one-on-one session for an hour or 2, let's say, and we fleshed all this out for you, and you left that session, do you think moving forward with no more communication, with no education, with no information, no reinforcement, no complimentary services, do you think you would be able to execute at the highest level? I don't think you would. You would need some level of follow-up, wouldn't you? You would need some complementary resources. You would need some level of education and mentorship and ongoing accountability to make sure that you are tracking what you just put together. This is how you make a successful start and a successful restart and run with your business. So execution is about having a game plan that you can put together to say, okay, for the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year. I like the year. Why? Because up here, remember when we did our initial assessment for how much you want to make and how much you need to make, we did it for what? We did it for 1 year. So I always like to connect the initial assessment for a year to executing a game plan for a year. So if you put a game plan together, you're still going to need complementary resources. You're going to need education. You're going to need mentorship. You're going to need coaching and accountability. It's just the way it is. Sometimes it just sounds so, salesish, which it's supposed to sound salesish. But I know sometimes to a lot of you that listen to people like me, it sounds so salesish when we're always talking about, coaching programs and educational programs. but what do you want us to say? We know that it requires that in order for you to be consistent over long periods of time. There's just no way around it. You're not gonna have a one and done. I was just having a conversation with someone we had an appointment with who they were taking a few courses on our platform and they wanted to get a few questions answered because they were interested in moving up to one of our coaching programs, right? And when we got on the phone and I started explaining to them what their questions were and what the answers were to those questions, they were like, wow, I really need coaching and I would love to be able to have a one-on-one session with you. And I told them, as a business consultant, it's like unethical for me to just charge you for one sit down, knowing that in 30 days, you're gonna forget 70% of what I tell you. And you know what I'm saying is true. You can listen to me today, take notes. You're probably gonna lose the notes in a month. Even if you type the notes in your phone, you ain't gonna regularly go back to them. And even if you go back to them, you're gonna be so bored and preoccupied, you're not gonna pay a whole lot of attention. You're gonna forget some of the nuanced things that we talked about. And then 2 months from now, you totally off focus from what we sat down in that one-on-one session to do. That's why today, if you go to my website, my main website, my university website, you will not see one-on-one coaching. You will not see one-on-one coaching. I might have one page with some one-on-one coaching, maybe like a $10,000 retainer for 3 sessions, but you're not going to see like a single coaching session price or offer. You know why? Because I do not like giving people like single one-on-one coaching sessions, because you probably need more education, more accountability. You need a game plan that can be executed. So the one-on-one session can be good. The assessment for your business and finances can be good, but that's only to get you started or restarted. What are you going to do over the long period of you executing it? So if you do not have this execution game plan, all week I have been extending a special offer for my 1-year Millionaire Mentorship program, just in case you haven't heard about it. This is a 1-year coaching and consulting program. All right, it's called the Millionaire Mentorship Program. It's an accelerated business coaching and consulting program. This is a $3,500 a year program that we have many people who are in this program currently. This week, we lowered it to $24.97. So we took $1,000 off this week to give you an opportunity, especially so many of you that have asked about the program, you have inquired about the program, you've shown interest in the program, but maybe you just didn't have the $3,500, or you just didn't have the means to pay the monthly payment plan that we offer as well. So this week, I lowered the price of this 1-year Millionaire Mentorship coaching program from $3,500 to $24.97. So that's basically $1,000 lower. We still offer monthly payment options. They've gone from $297 a month to $247 a month. But this is a limited time offer for those of you who are serious about being coached and mentored. And again, if you do have a clear assessment, let's go back to this. If you already have a clear assessment of what you want to accomplish in the next year, how much money you want to make, how much money you need to make, if you already have identified with the proper business structure, which most entrepreneurs haven't, brand identity, brand ambassador, if you've already developed your proper position, your products and services, if you already have them priced and packaged correctly, if you've integrated the right systems and processes into this business, if you already have a game plan that you're executing, then good for you. But you still need somebody to work with you throughout that game plan. Most solopreneurs, we're talking about 31 million business owners in America that are registered. 25 million of them, we're talking about 80% of business owners today, don't have any employees. It's just the business owner running it. That's a solopreneur. 60% of those, that's 19 million of those 31 million, don't make any money. So unless you are like one of the few 100,000 business owners that have employees and that are making a profit, you probably do not have a step-by-step process for actually being successful financially in your business. So whether you have this or whether you don't, especially if you don't, you're probably at some point going to need some type of coaching that has the included education, mentorship, accountability, and support over a long enough period of time to give you an opportunity to learn it, dial in on it, and start executing it, okay? So we have a Millionaire Mentorship program. We've lowered it from $3,500 to $2,500, all right? We do offer a payment plan option, but if you pay it in full, if you pay the $24.97 in full, I'm extending a complimentary one-on-one coaching session. So if you pay the $24.97 in full, you get access to all of this that comes with this Millionaire Mentorship program, but you also get a complimentary one-on-one coaching session. I promise you, I wish you could talk to everyone who I've ever sat down with. They'll probably tell you that one-on-one session will not only set the trajectory for the next year, but it will help you make sense of everything that you have in your mind that got you going all over the place that you don't know how to make sense of. Because I know how to coach, I know how to consult people, right? So with this mentorship program, you get 1 year access to our Millionaire Blueprint. That's our educational course. We have a whole program teaching you financial literacy, creative tax strategies, sales, marketing, business setup, entrepreneurship, holding companies. We teach you systems and processes. Everything you need to know to build a $1 million company, we teach in this Millionaire Blueprint. So you get 1 year access to that. You get 52 weekly coaching calls. You could join me and all the mentees every Monday on a live private Zoom call where we deep dive into certain topics. We do Q&A. We have interactive conversations. We hear success stories. It's a great way to stay connected on a week-to-week basis. I also give you 1 VIP ticket to our HQ day. I adopted this from my mentor, where you can come to our headquarters for 1 day, spend the day with me and my team, look under the hood of our business to see how do we actually run this business, and to be able to meet us in person, interact with us, to put real faces and real bodies to the people you see on the internet or talk to over the phone. We also give you 4 VIP tickets to our signature workshops. We host workshops on sales, marketing, financial systems, and holding companies. They complement the courses that you're training and educating on, but they help you deep dive into sales programs, processes, how to put a script together, marketing campaigns, how to use social media to monetize, financial systems like QuickBooks, creative tax strategies, business accounting for how to track your income and expenses and forecasting, holding companies, how to start and structure LLCs, how to file and form paperwork, how to draft operating agreements. These workshops are game changers. We also give you 2 other courses and 1-day events. One is a coaching boot camp with an online course to teach you how to build a coaching business. If you're in the coaching space or if you want to be a consultant or an educator, we show you how to build that type of business out and how to package and price your products, your services, your programs, how to introduce them, how to create hybrid programs, how to create signature programs that you can monetize and really use to scale your business exponentially. So we give you an online course and a coaching boot camp. It's a 1-day event. You can join me at these events virtually or in person. We also give you a VIP ticket to our business incubator. This is an online course and a 1-day event. In this program, we teach you basically how to build a general operating system. Most business owners don't have general operating systems. So when you think about your marketing, your sales, your financials, your operations, your administration, and even you as an executive, how do you create an operating system to make all of those departments function and flow? Even if you're a solopreneur. When I first started my business, I was the CEO, CFO, COO, CMO, CSO. I had to figure all of it out, and I had to learn how to put a general operating system together so that when I hired my wife as the COO, when I hire people as staff, I knew exactly where to put them, how to track their day-to-day activities, and how to quantify and measure all the things that we're doing to see what type of revenue impact it's having on my business. You learn all that in the online course and the business incubator. So we're giving you all of this for $24.97. Again, if you pay the $24.97, you save $1,000 and you're getting a one-on-one sit down with me, whether it's in person or virtual. And that's going to be probably about a 2-hour session, because that 2-hour session, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to help assess your finances, your business. We're going to help identify what business structure you need, what brand identity you need to have, who or what is the brand ambassador. Once we figure out what your infrastructure is, we'll look at developing what position is best for you, what products and services do you offer in all of your operations, what the prices and packages need to be. We're going to look at what systems and processes you need to integrate into your business, and we'll put a game plan together so that when you start this one-year program, when you start educating yourself, when you start showing up every week on the call, when you join me for my HQ day, when you come to our workshops and you start training and deep diving in these one-day events, you've already put a game plan together. So if not, you can also choose our monthly payment plan. We have a 12-month payment plan. So because of this $24.97 offer, you pay $24.97 one time, and it includes everything behind me with the one-on-one session, or you just pay $247 a month for 12 months and you get instant access to all of these benefits. So I want to hear from you. I want you to text the word mentor to 678-276-8253. Text the word mentor to 678-276-8253. If you have any questions, or maybe you just need a little more information on how this works with what you have going on, we could take a few minutes and speak with you. Just text the word mentor to 678-276-8253. And congratulations again to all of you that have already responded. You've already joined our Millionaire Mentorship program. I've already spoken to some of you this week. We've had some one-on-one sessions this week with some of you who paid it all in full. So proud of you. Congratulate you. Looking forward to having all of you join me this upcoming Monday in our weekly coaching call. Again, text mentor to 678-276-8253. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining the show today. You know we'll be back here Monday, 12 o'clock noon, Eastern Standard Time, right here, my family, on the Ramonepreston Show. All right, peace.